You need a movie ticket, cup of coffee, directions. There's an app for all of that, as you know. Now there's an app that could literally save a life.
Every 15 seconds, a woman is beaten by her partner, but the abuse never starts there. Tomorrow, a new cell phone app designed to uncover hidden signs of abuse will be unveiled. I have the story tonight.
The ability to recognize the signs of domestic abuse will soon be at your fingertips.
This really gets at how abusive that relationship is emotionally, not just physically.
Harbor House CEO Carol Wick says their collaboration with Florida Hospital has led to this groundbreaking screening app.
And the first question is, how often does your partner hit you? The second one is, how often does your partner insult you, and then scream, and then threaten.
The app then turns your answers into a score. Anything above a 10 signals an abusive relationship.
Does it oversimplify domestic abuse?
The idea is just to give basic indicators that you may or may not be in an abusive relationship. The screening tool is just the first thing that leads them to that phone call.
The app will even use your zip code to get you to the closest advocate or shelter. Dr. Monica Mendez, who also works with abuse survivors, says the final score often comes as a shock.
How often would a woman take a test like this and not know that she was in an abusive relationship?
It's pretty often. What ends up happening is that most people don't realize that they are in abusive relationships until it becomes physical.
While the app is new, the test it's based on has been around for almost a decade. But Wick says not enough family doctors are using it.
Doctors don't ask these questions now?
No, they don't. And we've done research here locally that shows that 71% of doctors do not routinely screen for domestic violence, even though it's the leading cause of injury to women.
This should be routine. This should be the standard of care.
Dr. Kevin Sharon, head of the Orange County Health Department, is the creator of the screening test. The idea came to him more than 3 decades ago when a neighbor woke him and his wife in the middle of the night.
She was desperate. She had been badly beaten by her husband.
And that went against everything Dr. Sharon had ever learned from his own father.
He taught me when I was a little boy a very important truth. He said, son, you never, ever, ever hit a woman. Honest to God, he told me that, and I never forgot it. And then when I saw women getting beaten, it shocked me, right? Because I knew that was wrong.
It took years of research and development, but Dr. Sharon's screening test is in use worldwide today. And now, thanks to technology, his revolutionary test can soon be used by anyone looking for help.
People can download this because they think their friend's in an abusive relationship and have them take the test. Well, maybe that would be just enough to convince that person to pick up the phone and call an advocate.
The R3 app will be available later this month on the iPhone and the Android. There is a warning, however. If you think your partner might have access to your computer account, don't download it on that computer or your phone. Try a friend's phone. And you know, that's the whole point, Gart. It's not just about physical abuse.
Right.
It's about verbal abuse, emotional abuse. That's how abusive relationships start. And that's what this small questionnaire will tell you. It's like a light bulb that goes off in a lot of women's heads.
And for a lot of abused women, especially that are watching tonight, this is just the first step, right?
Yeah.
And then it's up to them to take the next one to get help.
Yeah, you can get help right here in a couple of weeks.
That's a great story.
A first-of-its-kind mobile app to screen hospital patients for abuse was unveiled today in Orlando. Harbor House of Central Florida and Florida hospital officials say it will be critical to stopping domestic violence. As Nicole Papageorge tells us, the app was designed for doctors but can be used by women who need help.
Domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to women. More than 9,300 cases were reported in Orange County last year alone. And advocates say most victims of abuse don't report it, even when they're being treated at the hospital.
And when you see this patient, they actually are afraid to tell you what really happened.
Domestic violence advocates at Harbor House found out 70% of Central Florida doctors aren't asking their patients about abuse either. To encourage doctors to screen more frequently, Harbor House unveiled a new app that can be downloaded for free on an iPhone, an iPad, or even an Android.
It not only provides the screening tool, it also provides
protocol steps.
The app is called R3, which stands for Recognize, Respond, and Refer. It's the first mobile domestic violence screening tool in the U.S. It's designed for doctors and for victims and only asks 4 questions using a process created 13 years ago by the director of the Orange County Health Department after he had a personal experience with an abused woman.
My wife and I were confronted in the middle of the night by a crying neighbor who had been badly beaten by her husband. And so we had to arrange for her to get to a shelter and for her young children.
Now he hopes victims like her can get help from the app. It not only screens for abuse, but it can locate a shelter in an instant.
If it even saved one life, it'd be well worth the effort.
In Orange County, Nicole Papageorge, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
The app will be available in English and in Spanish in Florida. Hospital doctors will get it in the next few weeks. We also told you on Monday that Florida Hospital East is now requiring patients to fill out a survey on domestic abuse. The hospital will also have a Harbor House representative on hand 24/7 to help victims.
Local doctors have a new tool to help them identify victims of domestic violence. It's a new app called R3, which stands for Recognize, Respond, and Refer. The Harbor House of Central Florida developed the first of its kind application. It gives health professionals a series of questions to ask of victims. If the answers indicate abuse, a patient will be offered help and the location of the nearest domestic violence shelter.
Domestic violence is a life-threatening situation, and now technology will be playing a huge role in getting victims the help they so desperately need. News 13's Kelly Cook shows us smartphones and iPads will soon play a crucial role in the fight against domestic violence.
iPhones and Androids will soon be able to help medical professionals in hospitals and doctor offices screen patients for domestic abuse.
Over the past few months, I've seen kind of a resurgence of this in the emergency department. I've encountered several patients that were allegedly assaulted by their partner.
Central Florida's Harbor House just created the first ever mobile application in the nation that will be used as a domestic violence screening tool. Here's how it works. The R3 app, which stands for Recognize, Respond, and Refer, will prompt the user to ask a series of questions. Each question is scored on a scale of 1 to 5. A score of over 10 means that person may be in danger.
This application also provides me the resources as to who to call, and they will respond immediately to come in and give the patient the assistance that they need.
The application will alert the screener to enter in a zip code for the nearest domestic violence shelter.
So if I walk into the room and I have this tool in my pocket, I can quickly remind myself what I have, help me streamline how I have to evaluate the patient.
Studies show that only about 30% of community doctors ask patients about abuse. Maybe this application will make it a little easier. In Orlando, Kelly Cook, News 13.
Well, this new app isn't just for medical professionals. The app can also be used for anyone to learn if they're a victim of abuse.
Harbor House of Central Florida and Florida Hospital are continuing to work together to try to stop domestic violence. Today, they're unveiling a new mobile app that doctors will use to help screen patients for abuse and recommend proper course of action. We also told you Monday, Florida Hospital East will now have a Harbor House representative on hand 24/7 to help any victim.